Welcome to everyone and thank you for joining us into this training session about the pharma industry. By the end of this video, I hope you will know more about drugs, their compositions and their attributes. We will also talk about the regulatory context that governs the pharma industry. Finally, we will go, step by step, through the process of manufacturing a drug within a pharmaceutical plant. The pharmaceutical industry's objective is the design, the manufacture and the marketing of medicines. But let's start with the drug definition. How the legislation defines the drug. The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act defines drugs, in part, by their intended use, as articles intended for use in the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease in man or other animals, and articles other than food intended to affect the structure or any function of the body of man or other animals. The European Directive defines drugs as any substance or combination of substances presented as having properties for treating or preventing disease in human beings, or as any substance or combination of substances which may be used in or administered to human beings either with a view to restoring, correcting or modifying physiological functions by exerting a pharmacological, immunological or metabolic action, or to making a medical diagnosis. It should be noted in passing that the legislator has taken the precaution of defining these substances using the terms intended and presented. That means that it is not essential that the product really possesses the properties advertised to be considered as a drug by the law, it suffices that it be presented as possessing them. Concretely, from the moment a product is presented as having curative properties, even unjustified, this product is then subject to all the legislation specific to the medicinal product. This presentation aims to protect the public from charlatans. In fact, and in addition to the legal definition, the substances that are presented as medical products must provide the scientific proof of their quality, their safety and their efficacy in order to obtain the marketing authorization and thus acquire the status of medicinal product. No medication is harmless, but the benefits of a drug must outweigh any inconvenience it may cause. This is the concept of a profit-to-risk balance. From what is the medication made with? The drug contains both the active substance, also called the active pharmaceutical ingredient, and the excipients. The active substance is the substance or the mixture of substance that will exert the therapeutic effect. The excipients are the substances used to adapt the galenic shaping, to modulate the absorption. It could also be used as a preservative, as flavoring agents, as identification purpose, etc. The path by which the drug is taken into the body is called the route of administration. The choice of the route depends on the site where the desired effect will be produced and multiple other factors, as example, the physical and chemical properties of the drug as well as the condition of the patient. The most common route is the oral. The medication could then be administered through various galenic forms, for examples by tablets, capsules, syrups, etc. The parenteral route is used when a rapid action is desired. Solutions and suspensions could be administered by intravenous, intramuscular, subcutaneous and intradermal routes. Others routes like rectal, vaginal, ophthalmic, local or by inhalation are used to give appropriate medication to the patient. The manufacturing as well as the sale of the drug is strictly regulated by law. The ultimate goal is the protection of the patient. Several governmental agencies have been set up to ensure the drug's compliance with the laws. The most famous is the U.S. agency, the Food and Drug Administration. The other biggest agencies are the European EMEA and the Japanese agency. Experts from these three geographic regions have been brought together within the ICH organization. More global organization is the World Health Organization, which collaborate and have offices in most of the countries of the world. All these agencies have set up regulations that are the minimum of rules and concepts that each pharmaceutical manufacturer must comply with. We call them the good manufacturing practices. The accurate term is the current good manufacturing practices because these regulations have evolved and have been improved with time to better protect the health of the patient. Each country has its own regulations, As example, the 21 CFR Part 210-211 belongs to the United States and the UDRLEX Volume 4 to the European Union. The ICH has set up the Q7, which are the guidelines for the GMPs. Why do GMPs exist? The GMPs define a quality system that manufacturers use to demonstrate the quality of their products. The products approved, developed and manufactured according to CGMPs are safe, properly identified, pure and effective. Question: who are the end customers of the pharmaceutical products? They may be children, pregnant women, elders, immunosuppressive persons, therefore vulnerable people. Good manufacturing practices are regulations that describe the methods, equipment, premises and controls required for products to ensure patient safety. Regardless of country, all GMPs cover the following areas: the quality management, personnel, documentation, facilities, equipments, production including the manufacturing and the packaging operations, the quality control, complaints and product recall, self-inspection and subcontracted activities. Specific topics such as the manufacturing of sterile products are separately treated through explicit annexes. In the next slides, we will talk about the production process in a pharmaceutical plant. All active ingredients, excipients and packaging materials used in the manufacture or packaging of a medicinal product must go through several stages before they can be used. Once the materials are received at the warehouse, they must be visually verified and labeled in accordance with related procedures. Then they will be stored in status quarantine waiting for sampling in a dedicated area of the warehouse. The quality control unit will sample materials according to applying procedures. After that, the sampled materials will be stored in status quarantine sampled in a dedicated area of the warehouse. The analysis of samples and assessment is then performed by the quality control unit. The materials will be released by the quality control unit and accepted status labels will be affixed on each container, of course in case the analysis results do not meet the acceptance criteria. The rejected materials will be transferred into a separated locked area. Finally, the released materials will be stored in accepted status in a dedicated warehouse area and are now ready to be used. All of the operations we talked about must be documented to ensure traceability. Once the materials have been released by quality control unit, the production operations could be performed. The general production scheme can be summarized by the following steps. The appropriate materials will be delivered to the weighing center, and then weighed and prepared to the next step. The manufacturing operations are performed in appropriate premises using specific and qualified equipments according to approved documentation and by a trained staff. The semi-manufactured product is then obtained, and will be analyzed by the quality control unit in order to ensure its quality and authorize the packaging. The packaging operations are then performed in a dedicated premises using specific machines according to approved documentation and by trained staff. The packaging operations are split into 3 steps: the primary packaging, where the packaging materials are in direct contact with the drug, the secondary packaging, and then the third packaging. All these operations must be documented to ensure traceability. Once the final packaging and the laboratory analyses are finished, the quality assurance unit proceed with the review of the batch file before attributing the conclusive status for the batch. The batch file consists of 3 parts. The manufacturing batch file that documents all manufacturing steps. The packaging batch file that documents all the steps performed during packaging. The analytical batch file that documents all the analytical process as well as the obtained results. At the end of the review of the 3 batch files, the quality assurance unit proceeds to the physical and the electronic release of the finished product before it can be sold. In this slide we will talk about the difference between quality assurance and quality control. The term quality is defined by the ISO organization as the totality of features and characteristics of a product or service that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. In simpler words, We can say that a product has good quality when it complies with the requirements specified by the client. In the pharmaceutical context, that means the manufacturing of drugs that are pure, effective, and without any danger to the patient. The ISO definition of quality assurance is the assembly of all planned and systematic actions necessary to provide adequate confidence that a product, process, or service will satisfy given quality requirements. In other words, a set of measures taken to ensure that the medicines manufactured are of the quality required for the intended use. The aim of quality assurance is to prevent deviations and nonconformances and to ensure the satisfactory of the patient. Quality control is a major part of the quality assurance. It is the set of provisions which ensure that the necessary and appropriate analyses have actually been carried out and that raw materials, packaging articles and products are not released for use, sale or supply without their quality having been considered satisfactory. The objective of the quality control is to verify the conformance of the product, from a representative sample, to an appropriate specification. I hope this helps you more to better make the difference between these two associated concepts. Before ending this video, one slide to talk about safety and environment, which are an essential part of the pharma industry. Each pharmaceutical company should have an environment and safety structure. The main missions of the Environment, Health and Safety Department are to establish, implement and maintain a system that guarantees the safety and the welfare of all the staff, the security of goods and facilities, the protection of the environment. All of these in accordance with local and international laws and standards. You will find here some of the resources used to make this video. I truly encourage you to visit the links mentioned here for more details about the world of the pharma industry.